Hello traders, good evening. It's Sunday the 26th of March and today we're gonna have the weekly overview for the next coming week. Let me roll the disclaimer and please read it and take care of your own trading, because this is only for educational use only, and everything I will talk about is how I will take those trades, and this is not a signal in any way. Everyone should read disclaimer and know the risk about trading, yeah, as usual. So let's get started, and we will start with Dixie as we always do, and we'll roll the rest of the list. Okay. Hi Pierre, sounds is good. Finally made it. For unfortunately can't hang around for too long. No problem, it's recorded, so you can see the recording, yeah. So guys, Dixie, as we was expecting Dixie to have some trouble at the 99.50, as I said last week, and what's happened those last three days we have here, you see we have this consolidation period of time, yeah. So it is a very important level, and we knew that price gonna react at this level, and what we want to see is how next week will what next week will give us as a price action, because it's a very important level, and I think everyone is looking right now at this important area and waiting to see which way the Dixie will go from here. Because if it will break down, then it will be this head and shoulders everyone looking at. It will get confirmed, yeah, as you see here. And if that break happens, many traders think that this will keep going down, back down to maybe these levels, or even more to the election area, yeah. Let me just delete this gap thing. So yeah, very important level, and I am really excited to see what will going on next week, because we also have this old gap here. It's not closed on the 4-hour yet, as you see here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So there is a possibility that market maybe go down and close this gap and push back up, but we can't be sure yet. What I want to show you that we are now trading below the daily 100 moving average. It got broken very strongly here, and right now we have this 200 moving average coming up from the downside that maybe could act as support, as it did here before, and it was acting as resistance back down here, yeah. So keep an eye on this moving average also. Two possibilities next week, that we maybe start to see a bounce back up to maybe retest the 100 moving average, or a break to maybe close this gap, or even keep going down. We should wait and see the next coming week how things will go, especially when we have some news coming here, as you see from the US. The most important one maybe is this one on Thursday, the final GDP, yeah. That should be the news of this week that you should be looking at. And there is some other news on other pairs, but Thursday should be the day you want to be careful and see how how traders will react for that. Looking at the RSI, the daily is now in a very low area, so there is also a possibility for a bounce up, for a relief, maybe a correction if it will keep continuing down. So yeah, watch this level, guys, and don't trust the first move, because there is a lots of times when they just do as they did here, lots of false breakout and then price came back down. Yeah, the same you see here. So it may be gonna be a tricky week next week. Yeah, gold did find some support, some resistance last week, and as you see here, guys, it was pushing up very strongly and halted back up here. So now we have actually a lower low and we have a lower high. This is a confirmed swing high, because we have, as you see, this candle here. This candle here now was the last high, and that we have a lower high here and a lower high to the right, which make this is a confirmed swing high, and this high is lower than this high. So for the gold, I will be looking next week how price will react, and if we're gonna break down and close below here with a 4-hour or 1-hour candle. You see here we have this looks like a stop loss hunt for me. Make a trader think that price gonna break to the upside and keep continuing, but it just rejected back down, and we have another try here that looks like also as a false breakout. So what we should be looking for next week is a break and close below this low for a 1-hour candle or a 4-hour candle, and maybe a continuation to retest those level back down here. Yeah, if you want to be more conservative, then you want maybe to wait for the break and possible retest, but that's not sure that you're gonna get the retest. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at for gold. I'm not especially looking for long at this area, because as you saw on the daily, this 200 moving average was respected back down here, back up here, and maybe gonna get respected again. So for me, I will be try to find a shorting opportunity if I will trade the gold from this level, and the target should be a retest of the lows back down here, or back down to this level, the 1220 area. Yeah. Oil. Let's go to the daily on oil. Not much happened since last week. We are consolidating down here. As you see, the 47 is not broken. It did two try to break it, but it got rejected both times, and those wicks are daily wicks. So as you see here, and we have another try here. Both those tries was to try to break the 27, and it couldn't break it. I'm still waiting for a higher correction to try to short the oil from the 51.50 area. Yeah, so I'm still looking for the same scenario, and we will see. Now we are trading below both the 100 and 200 daily moving average. Yes, so this may act as this area here may act as strong resistance now, and maybe we don't get this move all the way back up, but that would be the area that I will be looking at, around up here near the 100 moving average and the 50 Fibonacci retracement from this whole move down. Yeah, we start to have a little bit of divergence on the RSI, and it looks like we're putting a double bottom now. But even though I wouldn't try to, for me, I would not try to trade this to the upside. The only trade for me on oil is to try to short it from a higher level. Let's see. Hello Sabah, welcome. You are a bit late, but we didn't go far yet. We just did the Dixie, gold and oil. So oil, still the same scenario as last week, shorting from 51.50, nothing else for me here. It is consolidating now, and maybe there is some buying going on, and it will maybe soon push up back a little bit higher to retest this area up here. Yeah, Aussie CAD, did this AB equal CD idea I had worked very well, and it gave a very nice trade. It's almost move about 143 pips. That's very good. And last Friday price did found support and did a little bit of correction back up. This pair is still looking very bullish. We still have swing low, higher lows and higher highs. So from here now, coming for next week, you should be looking. There is a possibility that we have a push back up to retest this structure here, especially when we see this divergence on the RSI is very strong. As you see up here, it's very high, higher low than the price is. Yeah, so this ongoing divergence may be telling us that we may see another push to the upside, especially now when we are retesting this area between the 100 and the 200 moving average. Yeah, so what I'll be looking at for next week, I'm out from this trade now, and I'm actually gonna see if price gonna make it back up here to retest these highs, and maybe give me a double top, and I'll try to trade it back down. Yeah, I would not trade this to the upside from here. I think the price is very high now to trade it, and there is a possibility that this was just a small correction, maybe to retest this order block up here. As you see here, this looks like a very good order block, so there is a possibility that this leg to the upside maybe end at this level here before keep going back down. Yeah, to do a retest of this structure. So a possible correction up, if it breaks this order block, then of course the next level I will be looking for short is from this top back up here. Yeah. Aussie USD, we're back at support now, as you see, and as I said last week, that I actually exactly said that look at this level and expect some, I would be happy to see some stop loss hunt to then trade it to the downside, and that exactly what happened. As you see, we had these two tries to break this level, and when we go down to lower time frame, you're gonna see the stop loss hunt a little bit more clear. Yeah, as you see here, this candle here was a clear stop loss hunt. This is a 4-hour candle, and it made many traders think that we now broke this high, and this will continuing going up. It went up, broke these highs, this high too, and rejected all the way back down, and did another push, and this another push was the killer here, because we got this engulfing wonderful engulfing candle to the downside, this one here. As you see, this candle engulfed almost both two green candles, and price just kept going down. Very easy, and not easy, but very painless trade. Yeah. So now we are back down at this support structure here, and as you know that, guys, this level has been acting very good. You see here, it was a very good resistance, then it got broken by a very good 4-hour candles, and it began to act as support, and then broken, resistant, and now it's back as support. So the RSI, we have good divergence, because we have almost equal lows on the RSI, but this move is very strong. You see the difference between this lower low and this lower low is very big, and the RSI is almost equal. Yeah, so a possible bounce to the upside, maybe from this level to at least retest these highs. Yeah, if it's gonna continue back down. The same scenario here for me. I will be looking for shorting from this level, or if it give us another push to this level up here. Yeah, same as AUD CAD, I wouldn't buy this pair as high as it is right now. Yeah, thank you, Robin. Robin says some of my predictions were 100%. Yeah, I used to get lucky from time to time. I'm just kidding. By the way, guys, sorry if you hear music in the background. One of my neighbors looks like having a party going on a Sunday evening. So I'm sorry for that. If you hear any music in the background, it's not mine. So let's keep going. GBP USD is performing very well, and was doing very strong moves last week. My prediction on this one didn't go well. I was expecting, as many of you knows, I was expecting a rejection at this level here. Was expecting that price will respect this structure here, and we had the 100 daily moving average coming at this area, and the 200 4-hour moving average, and oversold RSI. But as you see, guys, it did react a little bit. It went down a little bit, did a correction, and just blew everything away from here. Yeah, so very interesting pair at the moment. What I would be looking at for this pair for the next week is a possibility to see how we if price go and retest this structure here, how will it react down here. Yeah, it looks like we have possible head and shoulders, I think we should go down to the 1 hour and see it better. So if this goes and break, let's say this neckline, there's a very possible retest of this structure back down here on this pair. Let's go back down to the 1 hour and try to see the head and shoulders a little bit better. As you see here, we have a possibility of head and shoulders in if it breaks the neckline and the 100 moving average. We will be looking how price will react back down here. Yeah, so the short-term trend here is to the upside, and as far as this structure here, as far as this structure hold, then we may be looking for another bounce to the upside on this pair to retest these highs one more time, maybe. Yeah, if those got broken, then of course the ultimate level or the ultimate target should be back up here. Yeah, going back to the daily, you can see that actually we broke back up above the 100 moving average, and now the 200 moving average is getting closer and closer. It never been so close to the 200 moving average as it is right now. So I think this pair gonna give us very good opportunities next week. The possible most moves are gonna be Tuesday, Wednesday, and of course on the news on Thursday. Yeah. So if price make it back up to this structure, we should see a reaction up here. Don't forget that. Sorry guys if I'm jumping a lot between the time frames, but looking at the RSI now, it's heading down, and it did touch the oversold area. Yeah, and it gave us a hidden divergence. If you look at this high, let me put because actually I get question a lot about what hidden divergence is. So let's explain it when we have a very good example about it here. Yeah. So what these vertical lines show us are this swing high and this swing high. If you look at those swing highs, this swing high is a little bit higher than this one. Yeah. But looking at the RSI, you see that this swing high is much higher than this one. So that's what you can call hidden divergence, when the RSI making a much higher high than what the price doing relative to the last higher high. Yeah, so this is also a very good example of a hidden divergence. And what this usually mean that the price may go down, and now we have this head and shoulders ongoing, possible head and shoulders. Yeah, don't forget that. So if price break the neckline and go back down to the structure, you maybe want to look for a possible bounce back up from here, and especially if you see that the RSI got oversold very fast. That should be a very good example of it. Yeah, and as you see here, we have this cup and handle scenario ongoing now. If this was the handle, then it's worked very well, or if this what will going right now is the handle, if you trade those patterns. So this should be another reason for you maybe to try and take along from this area. If you see that this got broken, then take a look if it's gonna find support at this structure back down here. Yeah, I I can't hear it. I can only hear you. Yeah. Well, Robin, if you mean about Robin, it was in the chat. In the chat, yeah. Or if you talk about the music, Sabah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, you were talking. Of course, you was talking about the music. Well, very good that no one is hearing the music, because I don't like it. It's not a good music at all. The beast, guys. It's still getting smaller and smaller in this corner, and I'm still expecting a very strong move from here, and there is a possibility that this strong move, if we're gonna see this as a flag, this is a weekly, guys. If we want to see this as a pennant or a wedge, so there is a possibility that we see this strong move to the upside. As you see, price is we're getting smaller and smaller candles, and that usually end by a strong push either way, yeah. But we are trading above the 200 moving average, and as you see here, we got rejected from this level on the daily, and got 2 consolidation days. It wasn't a nice traded pair last week. It was a lot of up and downs on this one. So I would be looking, if I will trade this pair, as you see here, very strong rejection and possible stop loss hunt in this area down here, and it got rejected back up very fast. And now we have something similar to triple bottom, and some divergence ongoing on the RSI, and the last 4-hour candle on Friday was an engulfing candle, yeah. So, but still not trusting this pair until I see a real break above this trend line and a retest maybe. Oi, what's going on with those arrows? We want to see, to be sure for this one, break of the trend line, a retest that hold, and start looking for upside, because as you see here, guys, we had a break, short-term break, and then bam, all the way back down. So to be more sure, you want to see a break, a retest, and a clear close above this structure should be a very good sign that now we maybe can look for some long from this area here, yeah. And the level here is the 140.50 area. Let's see, GBP JPY has been in the most of pairs of the last couple weeks. Yeah, it was a very ugly pair, but yeah, I think there is some traders, if you would trade the ultimate highs of this channel here, as you see, if you look at those levels here, and you was trying to just swing trades, only the swings, then maybe you would made some profit, yeah. But that's not easy for many traders, especially new traders. For me, I took one trade only on this pair, and it was after this stop loss hunt, but it didn't go a lot, as you see, so I did close this trade on break even. Euro sterling. So the question on this pair now, if this is the daily now, if this was a false breakout to the downside, it looks so, because we did break, and then we got this engulfing candle on Friday. Let's not forget about this trend line and this 200 moving average coming from the downside now, and that we are trading above the 100 and the 200 moving daily moving average. So for this pair, what we've been looking at, go down to the 4-hour. If as you see, we broke down below the structure and then back up and did a close above and a fast retest too. Let's see if it shows better on the 1 hour. Yeah, as you see here, stop loss hunt, consolidation, and make us traders, those of us who don't have the patience, will surely hate this scenario when price goes sideways and maybe leave the trade. But if you've been in the game for a while, you maybe know about this stuff when they are happening more and more these days. As you see, this stop loss hunt here and back here and this one here. So if you've been in the game for a while, you know that this is when you have a stop loss hunt, you have the low of the week and it keep holding the same low, is holding no close below this low, that there is a possibility for a continuation up. Yeah, so it looks like we broke back up above the level and retested, and we got this last candle on Friday. So to look at for next week on this pair, I would not be shocked if we see something like this back after Asia, maybe a little bounce to the downside, and another maybe another try to catch more traders on this one, and I will try to see if I can find an entry reason to go long for a retest back up of this high. Yeah, another scenario you can look at is of course this downgoing channel, and what you want to see if you want to be sure is of course a break of the upper channel, or if this will keep continuing correcting down in this channel to the downside. Yeah, but I would not be looking for a correction lower than this structure here. This structure here is the last structures that should hold this this pair up if we will keep trading to the upside. Okay, so wait for a maybe deeper correction and try to find the entry reason long. Euro Aussie. The Euro Aussie is back up at this structure here. The major trend is still to the downside. As I said last week, I wanted to trade this level, and it gave me a good trade in this down leg. Then we got some consolidation, double bottom, and another back, another push to the upside, but we're still in a down structure. The only things that that says something else is of course this higher low we have now, this one here, and we have two higher lows than this low here, but we're still trading below the 100, 200 and below this structure. So it's on it's sitting now on very important action point. You can possibly go down for the 4-hour to the 4-hour and try to see if this was a real break now or not, if this level gonna hold. If it do something like this, goes below and close below this structure, then there is a possibility that we see another bounce to retest these lows here. and that should be the best scenario to try to trade this one with the major trend. Yeah, if not, if this was a real break and it do actually find support back down here, back up here, then of course what we want to see is the break of the 100 moving average and this trend line to be certain that the downtrend is over. We want to see a break of this one and continuation, especially if it break this structure. So if you see that on the lower time frame that we keep doing higher highs and higher lows on the 1 hour, you can actually try to trade this to the upside, back up to this structure here. Those of you who are bull on this one, but for me, as far as we're trading below the 200 and 100 moving average, I will be looking for short opportunities only on this one. SK USD JPY. Yes, of course we're gonna talk about it. It is between the pairs that I will be looking at. Euro New Zealand. As we said last week, guys, the 200 daily moving average is broken. The 102 is also broken. The trend line is broken. It looks like this major downtrend possibly over now, and we've got our first higher high and higher low, but as I said last week, I was expecting a lower push on this, lower correction to try to trade it to the upside, but what we got was sideways consolidations. Yeah, so if it will not give us that deeper correction, then I will be looking for, I want to see a break of this structure here. Yeah, this flag similar structure that's going right now, as you see. So a break to the flag for the flag only will not interest me for a long here, but I want to see a break of this structure too. Yeah, then I will try to find a entry reason to long on this pair, but the best way would be if I see a deeper correction, maybe a retest of this 100 moving average. That would be much better for me to try to find the entry reason long. So Euro New Zealand, I'm just looking for a long opportunity on this pair. A deeper correction would be more I will prefer that much more. Yeah, that will make me a little bit more sure about it. So Euro USD, the last 3 days on Euro USD wasn't fun at all for many traders. It was a lot of whipsaw, especially on Thursday, and then we got a very good move to the upside on the London session Friday, and the price just kept going sideways on the New York session until late Friday, when we got some moves, and there was also lots of whipsaw. Yeah, so the same scenario as the Dixie. We have a major level now. We still have, same here, we still have this gap back here since the election. 2 days after the election we had this gap. This gap is not really closed yet, even if we have those weeks. So on Euro, guys, we are somewhere where you should be a bit careful how to take this to trade this pair, because it can actually go both ways from here. We are trading above the 100 moving average, but below the 200 that coming closer and closer. And as you see, the 200 moving average on the daily is near this structure now. This is a very important structure, because if the euro go back in close back in this range, then there is a possibility that we see from here on a continuation and lots of trading in this range here. Yeah, so what we also have possibility that we may be gonna see a close of this gap. That maybe is also a market objective, and it looks like we have those 3 days looks more as a correction, as we had this. Those 3 days was a shallow correction and then back up, another correction, back up. So there is a possibility. Let me go down to the 4 hour. And as you see, short term, we are very bullish. We still have higher highs and higher lows, but then here last week it had very major problems to break these highs, and there was also some stop loss hunting. So for next week, you maybe want to see how price will react at this structure back down here. If we got a correction back down, you possibly want to take a long to this structure back up here at the 0.855 area. Yeah, because there is the last line of defense before entering this major range up here. Yeah, structure wise, short term, as you see, I don't need to show you that, but it's a very very bullish scenario right now. And we had this consolidation last week, and what we want to see, this consolidation, there was a lots of buying and selling, but we don't know which side is the stronger. Were they buying for a strong breakout to the upside, or were they selling and holding prices here to move it back down, at least to this structure here? As far as we are trading above this structure here, you should be looking for long on the dips on this pair until we break below the structure. Then you can looking for more short to retest these lows here. Yeah, so a little bit tricky on this pair for next week. And these highs looks like they are holding very good from here, but I wouldn't buy it at this level. So if you want to buy this pair, wait for a correction to the downside. First level here, second level, if you want to long it, is back down here. Yeah. And don't forget the news on Thursdays. That may be the catalyst to move this pair to one side or the other. So New Zealand JPY still in a downtrend, as you see, and it looks like it found support on Friday, and this support may be coming from this area here. Let me put line on those. As you see here and here, we had reaction, and maybe the price found support at this level from back here. Yeah, we have a very strong divergence on the RSI, as you see here on the daily. So there is a possibility now for a bounce back up to sorry, not so high, to at least first retest this structure. So go down to the 4-hour and look for how price will react at this level here. There is a possibility for trend continuation from this area to retest these lows, or maybe break more to the downside. As far as we are trading below those levels and this trend line, we should be looking for possible bounce back down to the downside to maybe retest this 200 moving average. Yeah, because we now broke the 100 and trading between those twos. The only thing we have is this gap is not really closed yet, so there is also a possibility that price maybe gonna close this gap someday next month. But first look for shorting from here, and if it break this level, then of course the next level you want to wait for is this structure back up here to try to short it back down. Very strong to the downside, so you need some patience on this one and wait for a higher level if you want to short it. So USD CAD, we were talking last week for a possible bounce from this box, and we did get a bounce down, but it wasn't the real move. I was expecting more to the downside to maybe retest this structure here. So we got a short-term trade that was okay actually, but because the move was let's see, below the 100 moving average, you had about 67 pips to trade from, but as for now this structure is very ugly. We did break the first flag here, and I did enter this break. It didn't give a lots of pip. Did close it when we closed this trade almost a break even when this green candle showed up, and we broke back up, did a retest of this box, and now we had this consolidation last week. So for this pair, I will be keep looking for a possible short, and what I will be looking at is another possibility of break of this flag and this structure here. If I see price go down and trade below this flag and below this structure on the 4-hour, then I will take another chance to trade this to the downside, try to see if this structure will hold or if it will keep going downward, because the structure is of course lower lows, lower highs all the way, and we should be looking for downside from this level here. Yeah, USD chief, so we had this impulsive move to the downside, as you see, correction, and break of the correction, we got this second impulsive move now. Price did find support on the 200 daily moving average and stopped here last week. Did some rejection to the upside, and then on Friday we got this engulfing bearish candle. Yeah, what you should be looking at for this pair, maybe a little bit of correction to the upside here. Let me take off this level, I don't need it right now, and I will actually take off the moving average. We maybe want to find another scenario as before, correction up, flag, and possible move to the downside, especially if you see a break of this structure. There is a possibility for that. And we had another scenario for the bullish guys on this pair, that you may have this double bottom now, but to trade this above this neckline would be very long term to get this trade. So you should to go down to the 4 hour and see what we have. And here on the 4 hour we have another double bottom scenario and a bullish divergence on the RSI. But let's not forget that if you want to take this double bottom, that you are trading against this major downtrend since back here. Okay, so for me, I want to see another push to the upside, a flag maybe as this one, and try to short this pair. And the best level would be if price make it back up to 0052 area, 50 area, and maybe try to trade another bounce to the downside from up here, yeah, as a trend continuation trade. Yes, USD JPY, we did break this structure that we were talking about last week. I was talking about this range that we should try to keep trading. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, we were talking about keep trading from the upper side of the range to the downside of the range, and then buy it from the low side to the upside. What we got last week was a short-term break of this level, and Friday price did find some support, and we got this bullish candle. So what I want to see for next week, if this was a real breakout or if it was a fake one, and if price go back in this range on the daily, then we should be looking for keep trading this range. If this was a real break, then what we want to look at, how if we go down on the 4 hour, how price will react back up here at the 11.70 area, yeah, because we did break this structure and we did a consolidation below the structure, and it looks like a real break on lower time frame. So you want to see if this gonna happen next week, that price go retest these highs and bounce back down. Yeah, that is a shorting scenario on this pair, and we have a clear rejection from this level. So I am expecting USD JPY maybe to get back in the range for next week. because we have one time we test this one, we test another time here, and third time we have 3 tests to break this structure, this level, and it couldn't break it. It was a lots of stop loss hunt at this level here. So possible consolidation only, and gathering more contracts, but what we want to know, if they were gathering contracts, were they gathering them for the push to the upside, or it gonna do something like this and keep going down? And what we will be looking at to next week. This structure gonna be very important to look at. And if you see a break of this structure here, a real break close below at least a 4-hour candles in continuation, then you are much clear picture for the downside. But don't forget, this RSI divergence is crazy to the upside. So as you know guys, I do like divergence, and this one is looking very strong to the upside. So that's why I think that we may go back into the range and trade in it. Yeah. Devrim USD Turkey is also on the list. Yeah, I think it's the next pair. That was it about USD JPY. USD Turkey looks like we have almost the same scenario, guys. Let's go to the daily. Let's put our moving average back. As you see, the 100 moving average now is very close, and it's not the first time that you see when price goes far away from the moving average, it usually consolidate back to it, and either it break below and keep going down, or it push back up. So very important level back at these lows here, when we had this very beautiful trade to the upside. So we are back at the same level, and you see that we had this whole last week consolidation at this structure. So we are making a very good and strong structure here, and there is what I've been looking at once again here is a possibility for another push to the upside. And if we go down to the 4-hour, you see that this structure is holding very well, and it was the low of the last week. They worked this level very good. Some stop loss hunt here, and it went back up in this consolidation area. So it's up to next week to show us which way this one wanna go. The better scenario should be if we see a close above this structure here on the 4-hour, and try to take another trade to the upside to retest these highs up here. But if you see that price break to the downside, let's say that price break to the downside, then the next level you should be looking at is this structure here. This main idea that we have, we take this trade to the upside, is this structure back down here. Yeah. So this was gonna be the last defense at 3.60 area. Yeah, is a major level, and you may see a possibility to trade it to the upside from down here. But looking at the RSI on the 4-hour, we have almost the same scenario as USD JPY. You see here this divergence to the upside is also very strong. We have almost equal lows in this structure down here, but the RSI is keep making higher lows. So break above this box, this range area, and a correction down should be good for take a trade to the upside from here. Yeah. And the last pair is USD Mexican. It was I think it was Shaka Checks in the Forex Gods group that asked about this pair. Personally never trade this pair, but I promised to look at it, so yeah, why not? So guys, those of you who trade this pair, you see that the downtrend since the mid of January was very strong, and now we trading below the 100 and the 200 moving average. And if we go back in time, you need to go very long to find when was the last time this pair traded below the 200 moving average. As you see, it was respected here and back here and here another time, but now it's the first time we break it, and it looks like this pair is heading to retest this structure here that is from the Trump election days back here. Yeah, so I will be looking for this structure if you want to trade to take a counter trend trade, and what I mean is counter this trend, not this major trend is very strong to the upside, but now it's clear that this major trend trend is maybe broken, but of course there is a very important structure here that you should be looking at to try to see if you have an entry reason to go long from here. Should be very good. It depends on your strategy. You maybe want to see a break of this trend line and a retest before keep going up. Yeah, but of course this pair has been going up for a very long time, and why not keep trading up from this level? But if this structure breaks, then there is a very important areas back down here. You see there is structure here and here that you maybe can trade and try to take profit back down here, but for me I wouldn't do that. I will be very interested to see what will happen at this level, and especially when you have this divergence ongoing on the RSI. As you see, price very strong to the downside, but the RSI is almost making a higher high right now. So keep an eye on this structure if you want to trade this one to the upside. Yeah, Sabah, of course I thought that I had this pair on the list, but I didn't. Let's add Sterling New Zealand to this list. Of course, Sabah, I did actually promise you to look at this pair. My bad. Yeah. Looks like we are flirting. This pair is flirting with the 200 moving average right now. Yeah, and that's wasn't so shocking that we maybe that's why we saw this rejections last Friday, because I think the 200 moving average is a very important, especially on the daily, to look at. But still, if you want to ask me, I wouldn't take this trade yet, to the downside, I would gladly see a retest of this structure to trade it to the downside, but we have now it looks like we have a bounce to back down. What you should be looking at, as you see, this was the last short-term resistance, yeah, and if this is gonna act as a flip zone, you want to see if we don't get the retest of this higher structure and you want to trade this to the downside, of course you want to see a break of this structure here, this level get broken, possible retest, and back down here. That's one scenario, but as you see, short term it was trading up all the way, so if you want to trade this to the upside, of course you want to take it from back down here. For me personally, let's go back to the daily. Yeah, this structure is more important for me, even though if we break the 200 moving average for a short while, let's see, yeah, it wouldn't be much better to see price retest higher up. Come on, TradingView, work with me. Oh my god, this that would be the ultimate trade to the downside. From this structure back here, it's much stronger. So right now I wouldn't recommend you to trade this pair. For me, I would trade it from this structure up here, or wait for it to go back down here and trade it back up. So this would be this channel, this ranging area here, yeah. What we can look at for more from next week is, of course, we trading above the 100 now. We can see that New Zealand is acting also weak against the USD dollar, so there is a possibility that we break the 200, and if we break the structure here, then you have lots of room to trade this pair back up to this structure to the upside. That should be also very, very good for trading to the upside on this pair, because look at this structure, we are getting lots of higher highs and higher lows now. So as you see here, but first we want to see a clear break of this structure if you want to trade it to the upside, or trade it to the downside and expect a bounce from this 1.70, 1.79 or 1.80 area, yeah. That's what I think about this pair. Let's see, Marcus Hunt, I apologize for being late. Yeah, we had the change the clocks today in Europe. I don't know if the whole world changed at the same time, but for Europe we did change the clock. Yeah, guys, that was it. This was the whole list and a couple more. Do you guys have any questions, or is there any pair that you want me to look at? We've been ongoing for 1 hour now. That sounds fair enough time for me, but of course it's Sunday and I'm don't have a lot to do, so I can give this 5 more minutes if there is any questions you have there, let me know. I will wait for 1 minute and see if I get any questions in the chat. Otherwise, I will end it here. Thank you, Sabah. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Did you finish New Zealand USD? I think was it on the list? No, we didn't have it on the list. Maybe I can take a look on that, Indica. New Zealand USD. Let's see. Yeah. New Zealand USD, we did close the gap for now. As you see, guys, my alert on this pair was at the 0.71 area to try to take a short on this pair. It came almost to that alert. I wasn't looking a lot on this pair last week. I had much more trades ongoing to I wasn't be able to handle all of them. So what do we have right now? Looking at the daily, we are in we've went down back below the 100 and the 200. As you see, we had this very strong move to the downside, and I was seeing this as a correction only to the upside. Yeah, so there is a possibility for we didn't get this whole move. I wanted to see this a little bit higher to try to trade it back down, but what I'll be looking at, the best thing is to wait and see if price gonna retest this structure up here when we got this daily pin bar, give us maybe a double top here and try to trade it back down to at least retest of these lows. That would be a good scenario, but from this level right now I don't see any clear opportunities, even though we go to the 4 hour. Let's see. As you see here, lots of reaction at this structure, so it's very clear that we have a strong structure up here. So if next week, if price give us a retest of this structure next week, try to find an entry reason short from this box should be good here. Yeah, because as you see, we had 1, 2, 3 times trying to break this structure, and it couldn't make it higher. So of course, if you get another chance here, try to go down to lower time frame and see if you got another rejection as before here, and try to find a shorting opportunity on this one. That's what I would be look at, my friend, on this pair. Can you explain gathering contracts? Can you explain how you would identify order block? Wow, let's see. Yeah, of course, an order block. Let's start with Robin questions. Well, gathering contracts, it's what I mean there, Robin. The banks, when you have consolidation in price, let me see if we have a good example about what I'm talking about in this pair, or maybe let's go to the Euro USD for that. Yeah, I think we were I mentioned in the gathering contracts somewhere in this area and this consolidation, and what I meant, what that mean actually is nothing magic about it, that price been going up for a while now, and maybe this consolidation here is where banks are making business right now. They are what you want to know, if they are buying contracts to start to sell them on the way down and make profit, or if they were, as you see back down here, this consolidation area, there was traders was selling and the banks was buying, and then pushing price up and start to sell it to take profit. So that is the whole idea about gathering more euro or dollar to either sell them or push the price high with those buys. Yeah, I hope that answered your questions, and I think I had another question about, can you explain how you would identify an order block? Yeah, let's see if we have a clear one here. What I usually look at is how the price leave the area. Let's talk about this one here. This, do you see, we had this candle to the downside, then we have one green candle to the upside. That should be, for me, is what I would call an order block, because as you see, this strong, how price left very strongly from here. So what's going on here, that price going up, and the banks are selling into this upgoing candle. When price is going up, the banks was selling into this candle, and price went all the way up here and left very strongly to the downside and kept pushing down. So that should be a good order block. And this, you take the lows of this green candle to the highs, and you push it all the way here. You see we had some reaction before this order block, and you see we have this rejection from when it touched this area, and price went all the way back down here. Yeah, so that's maybe not the best example, but yeah, what you want to see is a strong move, and you take the candle before the move, if it is to the downside or the upside, and that can you it is the origin of the start to the down move or the up move. And another example to the upside should be this one here, when price were going down here. The banks were buying into this candle, and into this candle they were buying, and then when there was not more contracts, and of course price start to going up. So that give us, as you see, this candle is in the middle here is the order block area, and there where you see price did a retest and bounced back up all the way up here. So I hope that answered your questions about the order blocks. I'm not a very expert about them, but that's how I see them, and that's how I trade them, and I try to find some supply and demand areas in doing it this way. Yeah. So I don't see any more questions. Grumpy, I hope that answered your questions. Thank you very much for being here, guys. Those of you who didn't subscribe to the channel yet, do that. Don't forget to give me some thumbs ups, and feel free to share this session on social medias to get so much more people get the benefit of those weekly reviews. Once again, thank you for being here, and see you out there. Trade safe. Bye bye.